Hey guys, welcome back to Magic TV. My name's Craig. It is Thursday, it's 9 o'clock, which means it's time for a magic stuff. And today, I'm going to be talking about kids shows. I have had so many questions on this channel from people wanting to know more about kids shows. Not just people that are already doing kids shows, but people that are considering going into kids shows. And I've said this on the channel before, I'll say it again. I absolutely love doing kids shows. There's some sort of stigma in the magic community that when you get to a certain level, you don't do kids shows. Well, you know what? I love doing kids shows. It's a great way to work in material. Kids are always honest. They'll tell you exactly what you think. And there's always an opportunity to perform for kids shows. When things over COVID and lockdown were kind of sparse, people were booking kid shows and virtual kid shows left, right, and center. So, you know, for anybody out there that wants to put a kid show together, I think that's a really good idea. And I think that a lot of people are considering this, which is why I get so many people asking the same question. Can you talk more about kid shows? Can you talk about more about how to actually run a kid show, what to do in a kid show? So I thought what I'd do is I'd try a new thing, and I want to know what you guys think of this, because if this is good, if you like this, I'm going to apply it to other aspects of magic as well. I'm going to break down a full kids magic show. So I'm going to do like a 35 minute kids magic show, and I'm going to break it down segment by segment. You're going to see me doing it live at Drayton Manor, so my company Non-Stop Kids Entertainment. We hold the contract to do all the entertainment at Drayton Manor Hotel. We do about 400, 500 dates a year there, and we can always film there whenever we want to, so it's quite easy for me to get footage at Drayton Manor because, you know, we're there, so it's absolutely not a problem. So I'm gonna break the show down into segments and talk about each segment and why I do what I do and why it makes sense, if that kind of makes sense to you. So I'm gonna basically break down a whole show and talk about each segment. Now I have about 15 kids shows. I know that sounds ridiculous, but I do. I have so much kids material that I've put together over the years. So if this is kind of useful to you, what I'll do is I'll do another one of these with a completely different kids show. Maybe the next one will be for older kids. Then maybe the next one will be for teenagers. Then maybe I'll do one for an entire mixed age of audiences. And then maybe I'll do one as a cabaret. If you like this, I can break a cabaret down and do the same thing with a cabaret show. I can do the same thing with a close-up show, with a parlor show, even an illusion show. It's not actually that hard to do if I set a camera up. So this is going to be a long video because I'm going to basically break a show down and then talk about each section. But seriously, guys, I want your feedback. If this is something that you want to see more of, let me know in the comments down below. So without further ado, let's start breaking down a kids show so you can see exactly how to present a show that's going to work really well for kids. So this particular show, the first thing that I did, and to be honest, this is the first thing I do in every single show, is I did a warm-up. Now, what's a warm-up? A warm-up is what I do at the beginning of every single kids show to get the kids on side. Rather than just going straight into the magic, you kind of warm them up. Now, here's the thing. A warm-up achieves several things, and what you need to understand is there's three types of kids in an audience, and the first type of kids are the ones that are super shy and super like really shy. I wouldn't say boo to a ghost. The second ones, they're bouncing off the wall, their parents have probably fed them E-numbers all day and they're super crazy and hyper, and then the other ones are kind of in between and they're kind of fairly normal and they're super excited but they're not over the top. Now what a warm-up does is it takes the super shy kids and it brings them out their shell. It takes the super excited kids and it calms them down, and it lays out what you expect from the audience and what they can expect from you. So it does a heck of a lot in sort of a 4 or 5 minute period. So the first thing I want to do is play a warm-up for you at this show. And then when I've played the warm-up, I'll talk about what I said and why I said it. Now the thing you need to understand is I only do come back, it gets better. It's gone. Oh, did you bring me pizza as well? Oh, for him, right. Now I only do magic for good audiences. Are you guys a good audience? Yeah! Are you sure? Yeah! Are you surely sure? Yeah! Okay, you sound good, but I'm going to test you. There's 3 things you've got to be able to do if you're a good audience. And the first thing that good audiences can do really well, they can clap their hands really loud. So I'm going to count to 3, and I want to see how loud you can clap your hands. So first of all, throw your hands out like this. Now when you do that, don't bonk the person next to you in the face, that'd be a little bit silly. Get ready. On the count of 3, clap your hands together as loud as you can. 1, 2, 3. Now that's not bad, but there is a test. Put your hands in the air. If you clapped really loud, what colour should your hands be? Red? I don't see any red hands. That means you didn't clap loud enough. Look, I'll put your hands down. I'll show you how loud to clap, and you can all try and clap as loud as me. Now, I'm going to warm up first of all. This is me warming up. Hang on a minute. Thought I heard someone laughing at me then. Hang on, I'm just going to warm up. Here we go. It's not funny. Stop laughing. Here we go. Here we go. I'm almost warm. Here we go. Right, warm. Here we go. I'm warm. I'm warm. Oh! Right, here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Like that. So here we go. Put your hands out. Get ready. 1, 2, 3. Clap! Put your hands up. Let's have a look. Put your hands up. Red, 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 green, red, green, red. You're picking your bogies. No, you haven't really. Right, that's really good. Now the next thing you're going to be able to do, you've got to be able to laugh. But you've got to be able to laugh so loud that your head falls off and rolls along the floor. So I'm going to count to 3. I want to see how loud you can laugh. Get ready. 1, 2, 3. Whoa. Are you guys laughing at me? Hang on, are you all laughing at me? You think I've got a silly face? You all think that I have a silly face? Oh no, I haven't. Well, it doesn't feel silly. One last thing, you need to be able to cheer. But you've got to be able to cheer so loud that the roof falls in and lands on my head. So I'm going to count to 3, and I want to see how loud you can cheer. Let me show you how loud you're going to cheer. You're going to cheer like this. Yeah! Like that. So on the count of 3, let's see how loud you can cheer. 1, 2, 3! I was watching very carefully. I was watching very closely, and I'm pretty sure that the girls were louder than the boys. Girls, were you louder than the boys? Yeah! Boys, were you louder than the girls? Yeah! Now, I need to know. What we'll do, I'll get the girls to cheer as loud as they can. Then I'll get the boys to cheer as loud as they can. We'll see who's loudest, and then we'll start the show. So first of all, the girls, not the boys, just the girls. Not the boys, just boys. If you cheer right now, it means you're a girl. Okay, so just the girls. All the girls. Girls on 3, as loud as you can. 1, 2, 3! That was awesome stuff. Boys, you're going to have to work really hard. On the count of 3, boys. 1, 2, 3! What was your name again? Tyler. Did anyone see Tyler? Tyler was so loud I thought his head was going to go flying off his shot. In case you missed it, quick impression of Tyler. Amazing. Give me 5, Tyler. Let's see if we can all be as loud as Tyler. What we want to do, if there's anybody left over in the theme park, we want to get them to hear it. So everybody, the moms, dads, grands, aunties, uncles, neighbours, sisters, friends, family, boys and girls, we're in Drayton Manor. We're having fun. Make some noise. Amazing. Now, one last question. Is there anybody here who wants to come up and help me do the magic tricks? If you do, put your hand in the air. Right, this is important, so listen carefully. Put your hands down. I'm going to tell you who I'm going to pick. I'm going to pick the people that stay sitting on their bottoms facing the front. I will be watching. If at any point people turn around or walk off or stand up, I'm not going to pick you.
Who thinks they can stay sat down facing the front? You're going to be really noisy unless I do this. If I do this, it means I want to tell you something, and I want you guys to hear what I'm trying to say. So who thinks they can stay sat down? They can be really noisy, and they can be really quiet when I do that. Put your hand in the air, think with me. Let's have a practice. When I do this, really noisy. When I do this, really quiet. We'll see how fast you can be quiet. Here we go. Really noisy! It's going to be a bit faster. Let's try again. Very good. Now, if you do that, and you stay sat down, there's a good chance I'll pick you. So let me see. We've got the magic tricks. We've got the audience. Are you guys ready for the magic show?
So that was the warm-up. Now, I want you to notice at the very beginning, I start off really big. So, hello, everybody. Now, one thing in kid shows is if you're not getting the reaction from the kids that you wanted to, all you have to do is ask the same question again. So, hello, everybody. Oh, come on. I couldn't hear that. Let's try again. Hello, everybody. Now, that's because that's our style at Non-Stop Kids Entertainment. We market ourselves as super high energy. The kids are going to be shouting and screaming and having a great time the whole time. If you're a kids entertainer where everything's a little bit more low-key, this approach might not work for you, but still I advocate using a warm-up. So as I say, my warm-up, hello, everybody. Oh, come on, you can be a little bit louder than that. I said, hello, everybody. And you'll see that throughout the show. If I ask a question twice, it means I'm trying to get more reaction from them. And that's something you can do all the time. So for example, in a kid's show, if you do something that's meant to be funny, and you're not really getting a laugh or it's only just getting a mild chuckle, all you have to do is point at a random kid that, you know, an area of the audience and go, stop laughing at me, that's not funny. And immediately every single kid in that audience will start laughing. They just can't help themselves. It just happens automatically. If you tell a kid not to laugh, they're all going to start laughing, right? It's little things like this that you pick up over the course of a career. So introduce yourself, really high energy. Hi there, my name's Craig, I'm the magician, I'm going to be doing a magic show. And then after a few seconds, you talk about how you only perform magic for good audiences. So are you guys a good audience? And they'll go, yeah. Now, you say, well, I only do magic for good audiences, so I'm going to have to test you. Now, that's obviously an absolute lie. You're going to do magic regardless, but there are going to be kids in the audience that think, hang on a minute, we've got to make sure that we're a good audience if we want to see this show. And then you break it down into clapping, cheering, and sitting still, right? Those are the three that you do. And I think the most important thing when you're doing kid shows is to beef everything out and make sure you've got lots of bits and business. So, for example, I could say, you've got to clap your hands. Everyone clap your hands. Very good. Now you've got to cheer. Everyone cheer. Great. Now you've got to sit still. Brilliant. Let's start the show. But it's about making it more elongated. It's about drawing it out and really kind of bringing out the entertainment value in everything you're saying. And the perfect example, and go back and watch the warm-up again, is, hey, you got to be able to cheer. But you got to be able to cheer so loud that the roof falls in and lands on my head. Everybody, I want to see you cheer. Oh, that was really good. But you know what? I think the boys were louder than the girls. Boys were you louder than the girls. Girls were you louder than the boys. Now you've got this whole competition element going on. It's just encouraging people to be even louder. And that's what the warm-up's all about. It's about bringing the kids out their shell up until that point. And then the final point is, hey guys, I want to bring people up to the front who'd like to come to the front. Now that's a very important question to ask. And the reason that's a very important question is because it tells you where the kids are that could potentially be a bit of a challenge. Because if they're putting their hand in the air like this and they're going really like that, that means that they're very outgoing, they're very not shy, right? So they're the ones that could be a challenge. Now, there is no such thing as a naughty kid. Actually, there are such things as naughty kids. But in a show, a lot of the time, the naughty kid is really just the one that's wanting to be the center of attention. So by asking that question, you know exactly where they are, and now you can bring them into the show, and you can put a little bit more focus on them at various different points to get them interested, right? So asking that question is very important. And then you lay the groundwork. You say, look, I tell you what, I'm going to, the people that I bring up to the front, if you want to come up to the front, you've got to stay sat down on your bottoms. If you turn around or stand up or walk off, I'm not going to pick you, you've got to stay sat down. Now, you will see me refer back to that during the course of the show. Because now, I've told them, now when I say that, you've got to stay sat still, all the kids will stay sat down and they'll shuffle their bums on the floor to be even more sat still. They know what you want them to do at this point. You set the ground rules, right? But then if they start standing up or walking off, you can refer back to this and you'll see later on that's exactly what happens. And then you say, right, okay, the other thing is, What I want to do is, you're going to be really noisy, but when I do this, I want you to be quiet straight away, because it means I want to tell you something and I want you to hear what I've got to say. Let's have a practice, and you do this and they're really noisy, you do this and they're really quiet. What's interesting is the parents in the room that are watching this, when you do this and every single child is quiet immediately, they just think that's real magic. And it establishes credibility for you, because then what happens is the people that are watching, the parents that are watching you, they're like, oh my gosh, I wish I could just silence a room full of kids just by doing that with my hands. Now, it's easy to do because we've set it up that way. But by doing that, you've instantly got credibility with all of the parents, but also the kids understand that when you do this, you want them to be quiet. You're training them as to how you want them to act. So they know that they're going to be really noisy, but when they see that, they're going to be quiet. Okay? So that's the warm-up. That's what it does. And then you want to finish off with a bang. You want to finish off with a, right, are you ready for the magic show? Or something like that, to bring the energy back up. Because in that last section, you probably brought the energy down slightly. So that brings the energy back up. So that's the warm-up. At the end of the warm-up, that should take about 4 or 5 minutes. And at the end of the warm-up, you're then ready to go into the show, and the audience are conditioned, and they're probably a lot louder. We've all been to those kids shows where you go, hello, and they're all really shy and quiet. This makes sure that by the time you start performing magic, that's not the case. They're in a great situation to actually watch what you're doing and interact with you. So in this particular show, the first thing that I am going to do is the Silver Scepter and the Pop Off Wand. Two classics of magic, two absolute classics of magic. Now, the important thing I want you to see about the structure of my show, and I do this with every single kid show that I do, is I don't do that traditional for my first trick, for my next trick, for my next trick. And you see lots of magicians, and what they do is they just have a box of tricks, and they go and grab a trick, and they perform it to the audience, and then they put it away. Then they grab another trick, perform that one to the audience, and put it away. I tend not to do that. I like to think of two things: hook lines and transitions. A hook line is what you say to the kids at the beginning of the trick to grab their attention. And a transition is how you transition from one part of the show to the next part of the show. And I don't like having the transition as for my next trick. So the perfect example is here. So the first trick I'm going to do is the Silver Scepter, but I'm not going to perform it by going, look, I have a stick. I'm going to put this stick in this bag. Now look, let me wiggle my fingers and it goes up in the air. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to say, now, you know what, guys, before I start the show, there's something that I need. Every magician needs a magic. And you kind of do that gesture, and every kid is going to say magic wand. You go, that's correct, a magic wand. I've got a magic wand here. It's a brand new magic wand. I bought it the other day. Who'd like to meet it? Put your hand in the air if you'd like to see my magic wand. You would. Okay, let me go and grab it for you. So now I'm not presenting a trick. I'm just showing them the prop that I'm going to be doing during the course of the show. And then this prop starts going wrong and things start happening. And again, this plays into my character. Now, my character, everyone has to think about their character in a kid's show. My character is twofold. One, I'm this kind of loud, over-the-top, almost like comically angry person sometimes that gets really, really angry. But secondly, as well as that, I'm also this bumbling guy who is trying to do magic, but it's not necessarily working. Magic's definitely happening. You can see that I'm doing magic, but it's not always doing what I wanted it to do. It's a little bit like Fantasia, and you see Mickey Mouse and all of their things are running, all of the magic's going completely out of control. That's my character. And the reason is kids are conditioned to think that adults have got all the answers. That's why kids ask so many questions. They think that adults have got all the answers. So because they think adults have got all the answers, you're an adult standing in front of them saying that you're a magician. In their mind, you're an adult with superpowers. So if you then start doing magic and it starts going wrong, they find it hilarious. There's instant comedy value there, which is why I have that character. Because it's so much easier to get the kids to laugh. And thinking about your character is very, very important in a kid show. So I'm going to play for you two routines now. So you're going to see the Silver Scepter, and you're going to see the Pop Off Wand. And I really think of them as one routine, even though they are two separate routines. And I want you to see how I transition from the warm-up into the Silver Scepter, and how the Silver Scepter transitions into the Pop Off Wand. Let's have a look at that right now. So, when you think about doing a magic show, the first thing that every magician needs is a magic wand! I've got a magic wand now. It's a brand new one. I bought it yesterday for the Magic Wand shop. Would you like to see it? Yeah! Does anybody know what colour a magic wand should be? It should be black and white! I've got a brand new magic wand here.
It is absolutely amazing. It's black and white. It does a lot of magic. What you shaking your head? What's the matter? No, this is the case. The wand is so special. I keep it in the case. The case is green. The wand is black and white. You wave this wand around. No, this magic wand is absolutely rubbish. Is this a magic wand? Does this look anything like a magic wand? So, okay, you know what? I'll put it away. I have another magic wand. I didn't realise I got the wrong colour. I've got another magic wand. The other one is a lot better. Because the other one is black and white. And you wave it around, it does a lot. I'm so sorry. I thought I put that away. I'm really sorry. So, we're going to make a magic wand. Now, the other one is black and white. Sorry about that. Right, okay. Stay! Stay! Firm. No. You're going to be firm to it. That's it. If you shout stay, it'll stay. Now, what we're going to do... Excuse me, can everyone put your fingers out and shout stay? Right, okay. Stay! I've got to... You know what? It's every time I look away. What I'll do, I'll turn away, I'll turn back really quickly, I'll catch it. Here we go. Ha! 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 It's fine if I can do it now. Right, okay. You know what? I'll turn it horizontal. Think about it. If I turn it this way, it can't possibly do it. I'm using my head. You know what? Aha! I'll turn it upside down. Now it can't come out. There's no hole at this end. That's clever. That's really clever. That's really clever. That's really clever. I've got one more. Ah! Fine. Remember to stay sat down on your bottom so you won't get picked. Go back a little bit for me. There we go. Right. It doesn't matter. I have another magic wand. This one will not let me down. This is my oldest magic wand. It's my backup magic wand. This magic wand is awesome. Stop laughing. You can laugh all you want to, but this one has never let me down. It has white ends. It has a black middle. You wave it round. I mean, this guy is so much fun. Guys, you need to stay sat there for me. During the show, things are going to happen. Things are going to go everywhere. You have to stay sat on your bottoms, okay? Hang on. I've got it. I can fix a magic wand easily. Look, you just put this end on this end. You hit it. It's fine. So, no, I've got it there. It's that end. No, it's that. Ah! I'll hold it this way. Hang on a minute. Here we go. I got it. I just hit it really hard. Fine. Ah! Okay, here we go. I'll put it. You know what? It's fine. We'll use a tube.
So you can see the transition there. I'm not talking about, hey, let me do a trick with a silver stick. I'm bringing this stick out to show them. And then, hey, this isn't the magic wand. Let me put it away. I'll get something else. And I put it away and magic starts happening and it builds up the reaction. The reaction I get for doing that is so much stronger than if I went, let me wiggle my fingers and show you that the wand is coming up in the air. It's a much better reaction. And that leads us on to something called look, no, see. Look, no, see is a really important concept in kids' magic. It's the concept of something happening when you're not looking. It's very much a pantomime or slapstick style thing. And look, no, see is very, very important. And you go back and watch the Silver Scepter and the Pop Off wand and you'll see it in action. So the whole idea is I'm holding this stick. I've put the wand away inside this green pouch. And then the first thing is I set the premise. So the premise is I'm putting the wand away. That's the premise. Then I look out at the audience. I'm not looking over here. I'm looking at them. And only when I start looking at them does this thing happen. So it's happening when I'm not looking. Now, when that happens, the first thing you need to do is you need to just talk rubbish for a few seconds because you're waiting for them to react. And it takes them, especially the first time, a couple of seconds to realize that there's something happened that you're not aware of. And then they will start telling you. Now, when they start telling you, the next thing that you do is you argue back at them. You don't immediately go, oh, let me go look. Oh, you're right. You argue back at them. No, don't be silly. I've put it away. I've put it away. Of course it's not come up. Don't be silly. And then you have that reaction. So then you look back and you react. And it's really important that you've got that over-the-top reaction. The reaction has to be over the top. Think about every bad Jim Carrey film that you've ever seen with him acting, and you need to do that. It's like, and the reaction needs to build. The first time, it's kind of very subdued, and then by the end of it, it's like, what is going on? Imagine if this was actually happening in a show. You'd be getting more and more frustrated every time you're trying to put it away. And once you've done that, you can go to the well so many times. You can do this again and again and again, and it will get funnier and funnier and funnier. Until eventually the whole green thing pops off, which is a wonderful moment to end the Silver Scepter. You then put that away and you transition into the next one because you've already set the premise of showing them the magic wand. And so now you say, well, I've got another magic wand. This has never let me down. This won't let me down. Then you bring out the pop-off wand and you go into the pop-off wand. And you know what? The pop-off wand is as old as the hills for sure, but it always gets a really great reaction. Considering it's basically just a black stick with two white ends, it gets such a great reaction. And it follows perfectly from the Silver Scepter. Now, there's lots of comedy wands out there. I'm not saying that you should do these two particular routines or these two particular comedy wands. And I do other comedy wands in other shows, but these are the two that I'm doing in this show, and they work really well with each other. And again, the Silver Scepter especially is a fantastic trick to open your show with because it encourages interaction. It encourages the kids to point and get involved, and they can't really help themselves. They want to tell you exactly what's going on. So it encourages them to do this. Whilst at the same time setting the whole premise. You know, it is very magical, that one going up in the air. It is a very magical routine. And what's really funny is you're not even playing it as a magical routine. Magic is happening, but you're not in control of it, which ties perfectly into your character, which is great. So those are the two routines that I do at the very, very beginning. And as I say, at no point have I said, let me do a trick, let me do a trick. Now, when this pop-off one goes away and I go, look, forget about it. Let's just move on. Now we're going to transition into the next trick. And I'm going to talk to you in the next segment how we're going to transition into the next trick, which is the classic coloring book. Okay, so the next routine is the coloring book. Now, the coloring book is old as the hills, and I know a lot of professional kids entertainers that don't do it because they go, oh, it's old hat. Well, let me tell you, some people might consider the coloring book to be old hat. But for me, I love doing it. I love performing it. It's an absolutely great trick. It's one of those tricks that packs small and plays big. It's a flat book. You can get so much mileage out of it. And I use it in so many different routines in so many different ways. I do Cody Fisher's Three Kid Monty with it, and there's a whole bunch of stuff that I do. But this is just a classic coloring book, and it works, right? Now, how we're transitioning into this routine is, you'll notice I say, actually, before we start the show, who here would like to learn how to do a magic trick? I always find that people want to learn how to do a magic trick. Who'd like to learn how to do a magic trick? And they all put their hand up. Okay, brilliant. And that brings me on to the subject of hook lines. Now, what is a hook line? Hook line is something that you say to grab the kids' attention, to get them interested. So if I just pulled out a pack of cards and said, let me do a trick with a pack of cards, they might not find that interesting because kids don't really find playing cards interesting. But if I say, hey, I'm going to teach you a trick, you'd like to learn a trick, now they're super excited. And there's two hook lines to this, because not only am I going to teach them a trick, later on, I'm going to say, who here likes colouring in? Well, they all like colouring in. You know, kids love colouring in, so that's another hook line. So now they're sold on the routine. I'm going to play this for you because I want you to see the whole routine lasts about 7 minutes. And you'll see during the course of that 7 minutes, you'll see that there's so much interaction in this trick. A lot of the time, a lot of kids entertainers blaze through the colouring book. It's just like, look, I've got this book, it's black and white. Now it's coloured in. Now it's black and white again. Thank you very much. And they just do that, and that's it. But there's so much more you can do with the colouring book. So let's have a look at that routine very quickly, and then we'll quickly break it down.
Who here would like to learn how to do magic? If you would put your hand in the air. I'm going to teach you guys, if you're sitting on your bottoms facing the front, I'm going to teach you how to do a magic trick. The only problem is, if you tell other magicians that I've taught you how to do magic, I could be in so much trouble. So I've got to make sure you don't tell anyone. I'm going to make you take an oath or a promise. Everybody put your hand in the air, your right hand, put it high in the air. And repeat what I say. Say what I say in a nice, loud voice. I state your name. No. When I say state your name, don't say state your name. Say your name. Let's try that again. Put your hand in the air. I. Your name. No. You don't say your name. You don't say state your name. You say my name. Put your hands in the air. I. My name. Stop it! I'll trust you. I'm going to teach you how to colour in by magic. Who likes colouring in? Who likes colouring in on paper? Who likes colouring in colouring in books? Who likes colouring in on their grandparents' living room walls? Do that. Who likes colouring in their sister's face? Who likes colouring in their brother's face? Who would like to colour in my face? No! Now, guys, I'm going to teach you how to colour in. To colour in by magic, you need something. The first thing that you need is something to colour in. Now I have here a colouring in book. I love colouring in. I bought this earlier on. Yesterday, I bought it. I'm going to show you now. This is no normal colouring book. Let me explain why. This colouring book has inside it pictures of different things to do with magic. There are clowns, there are wizards, there are witches. There's a lady with a crystal ball. Lots of different pictures. I'm going to teach you how to colour this in by magic. Now, here's how you do it. You need a good imagination. If you've got a good imagination, put your hand in the air and say, me! Right, I want you to imagine that on your clothes are all the colours we need to colour in this book. When I say go, you're going to grab all the invisible colours off your colours. Put your hands out here, get ready. When I say go, you're going to pretend to grab all the invisible colours. 3, 2, 1, go. Reds, greens, yellows, orange, blues, all the colours. Take all the colours very quickly before they disappear. Put them in your mouth. Chew them. Swallow. Rub them around in your belly. Now all you have to do to colour in the pictures, you just have to blow the colours of the picture. But I don't want a little blow like this. I don't want a normal blow like this. I want a big blow. Let me show you how to do a big blow. So practice. Take a deep breath. Hold it. And blow. Now, if you manage to do that, you will definitely colour in the picture. So, all of them, not just one of them, but every single one. So, everyone, take a deep breath. Hold it. Get ready. And blow! Ah, that's disgusting. Stop laughing, it's not funny. It didn't even work. You need to blow bigger. Everyone, take a deep breath. And another. And another. And another. Hold it. And blow! Oh, I can't look, you're going to have to tell me. Guys, did it work? Yeah! Every single picture. Hang on a minute. I was supposed to colour this in myself tonight. You've coloured it in. How am I supposed to colour it in when you've done it? It's not funny. Stop laughing. Stop it. Look. Wait. We're going to have to take the colours out. Now, here's how you take the colours out. You're going to have to suck them out. Like this. You're going to have to suck the colours out. But don't suck too hard. I don't want you to take the lines, just the colours. Get ready. Get ready, on three, you're going to suck as hard as you can. 1, 2, 3! It feels lighter. It feels lighter. I think we've got rid of the command! What have you done? How am I supposed to colour in a picture when it's not there? Okay, look, there's only one way to fix this, guys. Reach in the air and grab an invisible pencil. Now, who can remember one of the pictures that was in the book? Good. What I want you to do is take your pencils and draw the pictures so you can remember in front of you. I remember a big tent, and there was a man with some rings. I'll draw all the pictures. And now on three, push the pictures at the book as hard as you can. 1, 2, 3, push! Whoa! I don't know. You're going to have to tell me. I'm going to look away. Is it all back together? Give yourselves a big, massive round of applause. Oh my God. So let me ask you a question.
So that's the colouring book, guys. I absolutely love it. Now, you'll notice at the beginning, because I talk about how I'm going to teach them a trick, it allows me to do that whole thing where you go, state your name. Look for bits of business like that. Look for moments where you can embellish your show. Make it, at the end of the day, it's children's entertainment. The magic is just a vehicle that we use to entertain the kids. I see a lot of kids magicians, and what they do is they hide behind the magic. And it's very much magic, which is fine. But there's so much more that you can do if you actually think about it. And you don't just have to do magic. And the colouring book is a perfect example. Look at all the bits of business in there. Who likes colouring in? Who likes colouring in on paper? Who likes colouring in on their grandparents' living room walls? All stuff like this. It's stuff that makes the kids laugh, because they don't expect an adult to say who likes colouring in on their grandparents' living room walls. They just don't expect to hear stuff like that. So when they hear it, it makes them laugh. And I honestly think that every 3 seconds in a kid's show, there should be something happening to engage the kids. We've all seen kids magicians where the audience just walks off and they just wander off one at a time until you're left with a couple of kids that are watching. The way to ensure that doesn't happen is by making sure that you're engaging with the kids constantly. Every 2 or 3 seconds, something should happen. You notice in the show, a lot of the time, I'm constantly getting them to put their hands up. Put your hands up in the air. Who'd like to do this? Say me if you want to do this. Who's like this? I'm constantly asking them questions, but it's not a question where I have to get them to think, because that would kill the show. I'm asking them questions where I'm getting them to put their hand in the air or shout out or whatever it may be. I'm constantly engaging them on different levels, if that kind of makes sense. And as for the colouring book, obviously you see me blowing there. Now that's not obviously very COVID friendly at the moment. And what I'm doing at the moment, I did the colouring book last week. What I'm doing at the moment is exactly the same thing, but rather than getting them to blow, I'm getting them to hold the colours and throw the colours at the book. And rather than sucking the colours out, I'm getting them to pull the colours back out. So this whole routine can be played in a very, very COVID-safe way as well. I really hope at some point down the line we can get back to blowing, because I do love that moment. But, you know, if you can't, you can't. Yeah, the throwing and the pulling is still working just as well. So there you go. That's the colouring book. I suppose the big message to this part of the show is please, do not... dismiss this. Do not dismiss this, because this is a really strong routine that plays really, really well. It really does. So don't dismiss the colouring book. It plays really strong. So now we're going into a sponge balls routine. And I love sponge balls. I absolutely do. I've talked on this channel before how I don't really do them close up, and I don't really do them close up really. But I do love doing sponge balls in a kid's show. And there's lots of different ways that I've done sponge balls over the years. This is one of my favourite ways of doing sponge balls, because it's not really about the classic sponge ball type routine. It's the perfect example of how to frame a trick for kids, which is you establish the premise, and then the whole way through, anything that's happening that's magical, or anything that's happening that's crazy or funny or whatever it may be, that's just the journey you go on. And at the end, you achieve the premise that you set out at the very beginning. So the premise is very, very simple with this trick. I have this ball, and I'm going to make it change colour. That's the premise. I have this ball, I'm going to make it change colour. You then put it in your hand. And again, notice the interaction. I'm getting the kids to shout out. The kids are shouting out. And then you've got that look, no, see element. So you can see everything coming together. You've got that look, no, see element. And trust me, kids will find it funny. You see that in the performance video, or you'll see it in the performance video in a minute, that when I'm holding it, I'm like, there you go, it's changed colour. Isn't that amazing? Thank you very much. They're laughing, they're pointing it out. It's just like the silver scepter. And you've got that reaction when it's not happening. And now they're used to this. So every single time that thing doesn't work, it becomes funnier and funnier for them. And then when it disappears and it goes back in the case, it becomes even funnier. And the whole routine just builds throughout. In order to explain exactly what I'm talking about, let's just roll the video first of all of me doing the sponge ball routine. So I'm going to perform this sponge ball routine first of all, so you can see exactly what it looks like. Then when I've performed it, we'll go and talk about it a little bit more.
We're going to use a little ball here. Does anybody know what colour that ball is? I'm going to put this ball into my hand. And we're going to make this ball change into my favourite colour. My favourite colour is red. So we're going to put the ball in my hand. You guys are going to shout red. And when you shout red, hopefully the ball will turn red. And whoever shouts its loudest will come up and help me with the next trick. Who'd like to come up and help me? So all I have to do is put the ball in my hand. You will shout red and it'll turn red. Let me ask you a question. Guys, are you ready? Everybody watch the ball. On three, you're going to shout red. 1, 2, 3. Very good, very good. You managed to make the ball go red. I'm very impressed. Very good. That was amazing. No, I can't have anybody come up if it's not red. Let's try again. Everybody on the count of 3, shout red. 1, 2, 3. And now, you will see that the ball has become red, and you guys did such an effect. You made it! It's back in my case! I have no idea how you did that, but you're scaring me. Stop it! Look, we're not trying to make it go back in the case. We're trying to make it turn red. Let's try again. Everybody, shout red! Stop it! Look. We're trying to make it turn red, we're not trying to make it disappear. So watch, we're going to take the ball, and what we're going to do, we're going to make it go red. What? Go there. What's there? Ah! This is scaring me. Hang on. I've got an idea. We'll make them both go red. I've got an idea. I'll put one over here. I'll put one over here, one in this hand, one in this hand. Remember, one over here and one over here. One in this hand, one in this hand. Hang on, sorry. One here. One here, one here. One here, one here. I need someone to hold on to one of these balls for me. What's your name? Stand up, Olivia. Stand right there for me, Olivia. Face the front, smile, you're in show business. Everyone say hello, Olivia. Say how you doing, Olivia. Say yo, Olivia. Olivia, stand over there, face the front. Wave at everybody and say hello. Hi. Olivia, give me 5. Give me 5 without breaking my feet. Ah! Without breaking my feet, she missed. Did you see that? Ah! Right, Olivia, hold your hands out for me. One ball there. No, keep your hands nice and flat. One ball there. I am going to hold on to one ball. You are going to hold on to one ball. That way, there is no way that anything weird can happen. Which ball would you like? Good job. So I'm going to hold on to this one. Now let me explain. I want you to squeeze this one really tightly in that hand as hard as you can. Can you do that, Olivia? Hold it and put your hand high up in the air like this. You hold that one. I will hold this one. If I hold this one and she holds this one, there is no way that this one can disappear! Olivia, you only had one. You got two! Hold your hand. Hang on. Right, hold it tighter, Olivia. Tighter. Put your other hand on top like that. If she has both hands over that ball, my ball cannot disappear. Okay, sit down. Give Olivia a big round of applause. That's scaring me. Look. This is silly. I can't get somebody up unless this ball turns red. We'll try one more time. I'll put it in my hand. Everybody is going to shout red as loud as they can, and hopefully it will turn red. Guys, are you ready? Yeah! I said, are you ready? Yeah! On three, 1, 2, 3. Yeah! I can't look. You're going to have to tell me, guys. I can't look. Did it turn red? Yeah! It did! Give yourselves a big, massive round of applause! That is awesome!
So that's the SpongeBob routine, like I say. Again, the premise is very, very simple. It's a premise that even a small child can understand. I'm going to make this ball change colour. And then the craziness is what happens during the course of me trying to make this change colour. And there's a lot of look, no, see at the beginning. And I'm not framing it as a vanish. I'm not saying, look, I'm going to make this ball disappear. Look, it's vanished and it's back in the case. A lot of the time, the magic that happens in a kid's show isn't necessarily framed as a magic trick. And the perfect example again was the silver scepter. You're not saying I'm going to make this stick rise. It rises out of its own accord. I'm not saying I'm going to make this ball disappear. It's disappearing and it's freaking me out. And you can say it's freaking me out. And when you bring the kid up on stage and you go, look, you hold on to this one, I'll hold on to this one. Right, I've got this one nice and tightly. There's no way that... What? Open up your hand. How have you got two? Oh my God. It's almost like it becomes funnier because you're not in control of what's happening with this trick. This trick is just happening. This trick is just working and you're having nothing to do with it, which is just a really nice way to frame a show for kids and framing a trick for kids. And then you've got the finale where all you're doing is a simple Bobo switch. You're just doing a simple Bobo switch of one ball for the other. And now I want you to notice one thing that you'll see throughout the show. When I show that the ball has finally changed colour and the trick's worked, you'll notice I look away and I close my eyes. And you'll have seen this in the colouring routine as well, at the end, where I go, can't look, has it fixed, is all the lines back? The reason, and I look away and I go, tell me, has it worked? And the reason is, if I just go, look, it's changed red, they'll be impressed. But they might not clap or cheer because kids aren't used to clapping and cheering in a show. It's not something they're used to. But they are used at this point to shouting out and telling me information I want them to know or helping me in the show because something's not working. So because this trick has not worked all the way through the trick, it's not worked. If I just say, look, I'm not going to look, tell me, has it worked, has it worked, has it worked? They're going to scream, yes. And I go, brilliant. Give yourselves a big round of applause. And it ends the trick on a high. You'll get a much bigger reaction doing that than you would do going, look, now it has changed colour. Isn't that amazing? And that's something that's really, really important to know as well. It's really important to get the kids to react because a lot of the time, the person who's booked you, whether it be a corporate company or in this case, a theme park, or whether it be a birthday mum or whatever it may be, it's important that they hear that the kids are screaming, clapping, cheering and having a good time. And so you have to think during the course of the show, how are you going to elicit that response? Right, okay, cool. So let's now have a look at the next trick in the show. So the next trick in the show is one of my favourites. I absolutely love this. This is the Acrobatic Knot by Daryl. This has been marketed recently by Murphy's Magic. Murphy's Magic have brought it back out again as part of the Daryl Legacy line. And I think it originally was the Jumping Knot of Pakistan, possibly, I'm not too sure. I've always known it as the Acrobatic Knot. It is an incredible trick. It is an incredible trick as long as it's framed correctly. And again, the problem is a lot of the time when I've seen people perform this trick, what they do is they confuse the kids. And it's very, very easy to confuse kids, especially if you've got little kids in the audience. It's very easy to confuse them if you make the plot too overly complicated. So what you need to do is simplify it right down. So in this case, the plot is very simple. I'm going to make a knot on a rope disappear. That's the plot. I'm going to take a rope and I'm going to make the knot on that rope disappear, and you guys won't see where it's gone. So now they're going to be watching very, very carefully, and you've got all the bits of business at the beginning. The knot's going to disappear. 1, 2, 3, it's gone. You've got all of those moments, which again, kid shows are 99% bits of business and 1% magic. It really is. Yeah, it's really nice to have a nice magical moment. And to be honest, I'll throw this in as well at this point. It's really important that when you do the magic, it's impressive for the adults as well, because they're the ones that are booking you. They're the ones that are going to rebook you. Yeah, the kids love you, but it's really important that you impress the adults as well. So I do throw stuff in that I know the adults are going to find impressive. Acrobatic knot always blows away adults. A sponge ball routine always blows away adults. Every single time. The colouring book, not so much, but as long as I've got some routines in there, it's always going to blow away the adults. So again, perfect example is the acrobatic knot. So you've set the premise, then you go into the moment where you make the knot jump. And it's killer. It's absolutely killer, especially if you go, yes, it's disappeared. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. And then you act really surprised that it's now over there. How did that get over there? That makes no sense. What? I can't understand. How did a white knot go in a red piece of rope? And the kids will laugh at that, and they laugh at your confusion, right? They laugh at your confusion. And then you go into this killer moment that always kills the audience, where the knot goes and slides up and down the rope. It comes off the rope. It goes back onto the rope. All of those wonderful moments of magic are so strong. They really are. And this is one of those routines as well that plays to a massive audience. You know, because of how bright the ropes are and because of how big, it's one of those routines that packs small and plays big. And it doesn't matter what the age of the children are in the audience, they're going to buy into this trick and they're going to be so confused. And at the end, when you unravel it and you show that the knot has actually become part of the red rope, it's killer. It's absolutely killer for every single person in the audience. So I suppose the thing to learn from the acrobatic knot is it's okay to throw in routines that you know are going to be there to impress the adults. Yeah, it's going to impress the kids, but have something in there so that when the adults are watching it, they're like, what? Didn't expect to see that happen. That didn't make any sense. Right, cool.
Sorry, is that a big loud voice? Try that again. There we go. Can you sit over there for me, buddy, in line with everyone else? Is that all right? Thank you. And in an even louder voice, what colour is this one? Watch the white piece of rope. I'm going to tie a knot in the white piece of rope. Take the loop, take the end, pull it through, just like this. Now the idea is, guys, I'm going to make this knot disappear from this white piece of rope. If you catch me making this knot disappear, I will do my last trick for you. If you don't catch me, I won't do it. Do you think you can catch me? Yeah. No, you can't. Yeah. No, you can't. Yeah. Okay. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to take the knot, hold it in my hand. I'm going to count to 3, and the knot will disappear completely. I want you to watch very carefully. I'm going to count to 3. You guys shout abracadabra, and if you shout loud enough, the knot will completely disappear, and you won't catch me doing it. Everybody, watch the knot. On 3. Everybody on the count of 3, you're going to shout abracadabra. The knot's going to disappear, you won't catch me. Here we go. 1, 2, 3. That's called misdirection right there. I did the move while the hug happened, just so you know. Let's try that again. Are you all hugged out? Are we good? Next time, let's go for a manly fist bump. Boom. Good. Right, let's try that again. On 3, you're going to shout abracadabra. The knot's going to disappear. Here we go. 1, 2, 3. And the knot has completely disappeared. Thank you very much. No, it's not there. It's not there. What? No, look, it's not there. It's completely... Okay. I've got to distract you, that's the problem. I've got to distract you with the red piece of rope. If I distract you with the red piece of rope, you won't catch me making the knot disappear. So I'm going to wave this red rope around, and hopefully you won't watch the knot, you'll watch the red rope. Even if I twizzle them together, don't watch the red rope, watch the white rope, because you won't catch me making that knot disappear. Thank you very much, it's done. What? Hang on, can you get a white knot on a red piece of rope? Yeah. No, you can't. Actually, I know how this works. I'll tell you. It's easy how it works. It's a trick knot. It's not a real knot. That's how it works. If it was a real knot, we couldn't slide it down to the other end. You can only do that with a trick knot. If it was a real knot, you could not take that knot and pull it off the rope. You can only do that with a trick knot. If it was a real knot, you couldn't throw it back on again. If this was a real knot, then you can undo it, and it would be part of the rope, and you guys would be amazed, but it's not part of the rope. That's impossible. Ah! Wow. You guys really are absurd. Give yourselves a big round of applause. That was amazing.
So the next routine I'm going to perform for you, I'm going to show you, is cards across, which is not one that you automatically think would work in a kid's show. But trust me, this routine works. It's strong, it works really, really well. It always does. Cards across is something that you can play to a massive audience, because forget about the fact that it's playing cards. Ultimately, it's not about the playing cards, it's about how many cards you have. Kids can count up to 10, absolutely not a problem. So as long as they know how many cards, as long as you make it not really about the cards and you make it about the number of the cards, having a cards across routine in a show can be really, really powerful. It really can, because it really will pack a punch when you actually show them, and as long as you've got that clarity of motion. Now, using the envelopes, which is something that I learned from Scott Alexander, using the envelopes with the cards across, especially with kids, makes things so much easier. Because the problem with kids, if they're holding playing cards and they're loose and you're doing the classic method, you can't really control them. They could very easily drop the cards or fidget or whatever it may be. But if you've got them to put the cards in the envelope and then they're holding onto the envelope, you're absolutely golden. There's no way that you can, there's no way they can do anything wrong. So it's easier to audience manage the kids. And I suppose that's a really important thing to think of. How are you going to manage the kids in the audience? How are you going to manage them when they come up on stage? A lot of the time when people practice a kid show, they'll sit there in their living room and they'll work out what they're going to do. But the best way to actually practice a kid show before you go and do it is by actually going into a space where you can actually lay your props out and you think, okay, I'm going to do this at this point. I'm going to do this at this point. I'm going to do this at this point. Then I'm going to transition into this. Then this is going to be here. So this kid's going to stand here. This kid's going to stand here. Whatever it may be, okay? Let me play you the footage of the cards across routine so you can see the routine in action.
What's your name? What's your name? Rosie. Come on up, Rosie. Everybody give Rosie a big, massive round of applause. She's stand outside for me. Everybody say, hello, Rosie! And I mean a boy that can count to 10. Is there a boy in here that can count to 10? I'll tell you what, as I love Minecraft. What's your name? Come on up, Joseph. Very good. Everybody give Joseph a big round of applause. Wonderful. So guys, somebody else is going to help me in a minute. And it's going to be the person who does the best job of listening during this trick. So, I've got two people here that are here to help me. I've got Joseph and I've got Rosie. Sorry, change places, I'm sorry. Change places, you go, there we go, I'm sorry. I'm going the wrong way around. So I've got two people coming up and helping me. I've got Joseph and Sorry, change places. I'm so sorry. Right, I've got two people coming up and helping me. I've got Rosie and I've got Jenny. Now what's going to happen is that... Sorry. I've got Joseph and I've got Rufus. Now what's going to happen is that... Sorry. I've got Rosie and I've got Jezebel. Now what's going to... Sorry. I've got it. We've got Sky and Ryder. Peppa and George.
Rosie and Joseph.
Oh, Rosie and Joseph. Right. Rosie and Joseph! I also have this. Does anyone know what these are? Playing cards. Now, we're not going to have a card picked, it's nothing like that. Rosie, I want you to hold on to those cards. Face down like that. Very good. Now, as well as that, we will need a couple of pens. I'm going to put a pen there for you, and a pen there for you. I'm going to take the lids off. You've got a pen, you've got a pen, and finally, we're going to need one more thing, and that's all of these envelopes. So, Rosie, hold the cards. Rosie is going to count 10 cards into my hand, out loud, face down. Now, as Rosie counts the cards into my hand, I want you guys to count along with her so we know there's exactly 10 cards. But you have to count in big, loud voices. Do you guys have big, loud voices? Rosie, you're going to take the cards, you're going to count 10 cards into my hand. Go! 1, 2, hang on. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Very good. Pass the cards across to Joseph. We're going to put those 10 cards into this envelope. Then we're going to take the sticky off and we're going to seal it shut. Rosie, what I want you to do is take that envelope with your 10 cards in, and with that pen, in big letters on the front, write your name. Once she's doing that, Joseph, you're going to count 10 cards into my hand as loud as you can, okay? Everybody count along with Joseph, go! 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Put the rest of the cards back down there, Joseph. We're going to put these 10 cards in. You can take them yourself, put them into the envelope for me there. Put them into the envelope. Take the sticky off. That bit there. You pull it off like that. We're going to sticky it shut. Very good. Now, where's your pen? Joseph's pen. Very good. Joseph, can you write your name on the envelope? Big letters there. Right, guys, this is where you get to help. Will you help me? I can't hear you. Hold your envelope like that. Guys, how many cards in that envelope? I can't hear you. Hold your envelope, Joseph, so everyone can see it with the name on there. How many cards in Joseph's envelope? Guys, this is what's going to happen. Hold the envelopes high above your head. Here's what's going to happen. I'm going to try, with your help, to make 3 cards disappear from Rosie's envelope, and we'll do it the other way. We'll make it even harder. We'll make 3 cards disappear from Joseph's envelope, and we're going to make them appear in Rosie's envelope. I'm not going to touch the envelopes, and 3 cards are going to jump across. Would that be good, guys? I can't hear you. Guys, Joseph, Rosie, don't let me go anywhere near the envelopes. I'm going to try and get 3 cards from there to there. Now watch. To do this, you guys all need to help me, and you need to learn the magic. Come over here a little bit, Rosie. I promise. Right, there you go. We're going to need to learn the magic. Guys, follow along with me. Everybody in the audience, when I say wiggle your fingers, stick out your fingers and wiggle them as fast as you can. When I say wiggle your toes, stick out your toes and wiggle your toes as fast as you can. When I say wiggle your ears, reach up and wiggle your ears as fast as you can. And when I say wiggle your nose, reach up and wiggle your nose as fast as you can. Let's have practice. Wiggle your fingers. Wiggle your toes. Wiggle your ears. Wiggle your nose. And at the end, the magic words are hocus pocus. Let's have practice. Hocus pocus. If we do all of that, 3 cards will jump from Joseph's envelope, and they will jump into Rosie's envelope, and everybody here will give both of you guys a big round of applause. Let me ask you a question. Are you ready? I said, are you ready? Here we go. wiggle your toes, wiggle your ears, wiggle your nose. Everybody shout, hocus pocus. It's not going to work if you wiggle that slowly. You've got to wiggle a lot faster. You're going to have to wiggle faster than anything you wiggled before. And we're going to have to do a lot more wiggling. Let's try again. Wiggle your fingers. Wiggle your toes. Wiggle your ears. Wiggle your nose. Wiggle your legs. Wiggle your hair. Wiggle your head. Wiggle your belly. Wiggle your chest. Wiggle your teeth. Wiggle your shoulders. Wiggle your elbows. Wiggle your knees. Wiggle your bum. Wiggle everything at the same time. Shout, hocus pocus! Joseph, I really hope this has worked. Guys, how many cards were there in Joseph's envelope? I haven't touched them, you counted them. I've been nowhere near them. I'm going to rip open the envelope, Joseph. We're going to take these cards out. Take cards, Joseph. Look, hold on to those, there's a few more in there. Don't count them just yet, Joseph. Look, there is nothing else inside that envelope. The cards are right there. Guys, count them along with Joseph. Joseph, cut them into my hand. Go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 cards, people! Hang on. I know what you're thinking. I know why you're not going crazy. There's a reason why you guys aren't going crazy. And the reason is you don't know where they've gone. But if there's 13 cards in there, every single man, woman and child will give a big round of applause to you, Rosie, and you, Jacob, for being such an amazing part of this show. Joseph, where did I get Jacob from? Take the cards. We're going to rip it open for me, Rosie. Take them all out. Take everyone out now. Guys, wait, don't count them just yet. Guys, if there's 13 cards there, I want you to give Rosie, come over here, Rosie, so they can see you. If there's 13 cards there, I want all the parents and all the kids to go crazy. Can you do that for me, guys? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 cards. Give them both a big, huge, massive round of applause.
Okay, so that's the cards across. Absolutely love that routine. It's super killer. And again, it's one of those routines. It's a bit of a cliche in magic, but I'm going to say it anyway. It packs small and it plays big. It's one of those routines that packs really, really small. It doesn't take up much space in a case, but it plays to a really big audience. And again, like with the rope routine, it's one that the adults can really get involved in as well. Right, okay, so now we've had a look at the cards across. We're going to go into the final routine in the show, which is Stratosphere. Okay, so the final routine in the show is Stratosphere. This is actually a Joker tube, which is a cheaper version of Stratosphere. I didn't have my Stratosphere on me when I was doing this show, so I took a Joker tube instead. It's still the same basic premise. And again, what I want you to, I'm going to play the routine for you in a second, but when you watch this routine, I want you to look at the hook line. Listen to the hook line. We've talked about hook lines all the way through. Hook lines are so important. Let me play the routine for you. Listen to the hook.
Now, who here likes cars? Who here, when they're older, would like to drive a car? Who here would like to drive? Who thinks that driving a car is one of the coolest things that they can do when they're older? Okay. Well, when you come to driving a car, you need to understand your traffic lights. Does anybody here know the colours on a traffic light? Okay, these are the colours. That colour is. That colour is. That colour is. And red means. Yellow means. And green means. Now, inside this tube, I have 3 balls. This one here is a red one, this one here is a yellow one, and this one here is a green one. I'm going to test you to see how good you are with your traffic light colours. Which colour out of these 3 should be at the bottom? Green. Very good. The green one should be at the bottom. Then what should be above the green? Very good. And then what should be above the yellow? Exactly. It goes red, yellow, green. If you get red, yellow, and green, that means that you've done it correct. You've got to get red, yellow, and the green's got to be the bottom. Then the yellow. Hang on a minute. That's when. Sit back for me. Sit back. Hang on a minute. Hang on a minute. Hang on. That's not. Let me just try that again. What colour's at the bottom? Then what colour? Then what colour? Okay, so it goes red, yellow, green. Is that right? Brilliant. Okay. So as long as it goes red, yellow, and green, then you can. Hang on. I'm so confused. Let me try that one more time. Right. Look. Is that green? Is that yellow? Is that red? Is the red on the top? Exactly. Now, okay. I've got an idea. The only way we're going to be able to fix this, I know, it's magic. You and sleep. Right. You're welcome. Right. Okay. So the green goes there. Is that right? The yellow goes there. Is that right? We'll try and do some magic. We'll keep the green and the yellow there, and we'll try and make the red one disappear and appear there with the other two balls, but I'm not going to be able to do this unless you help me. Guys, will you help me? Okay, here's what we're going to do. We're going to use the same magic that we used before. When I say wiggle your fingers, wiggle your fingers. When I say wiggle your toes, wiggle your toes. When I say wiggle your ears, wiggle your ears. And when I say wiggle your nose, you get what's going to happen. You're going to wiggle your nose, okay? Right, here we go. Wiggle your fingers. Wiggle your toes. Wiggle your ears. Wiggle your nose. Everybody shout, hocus pocus. And the red one has disappeared from here. And it is about... Try that again. Everybody, wiggle your fingers. Wiggle your toes. Wiggle your ears. Wiggle your nose. Shout, hocus pocus. And the red one has disappeared from here and appeared. Oh, no. We're going to have to wiggle faster than anything we've wiggled before. Guys, wiggle your fingers. Wiggle your toes. Wiggle your ears. Wiggle your nose. Wiggle your hair. Wiggle your head. Wiggle your belly. Wiggle your chest. Wiggle your shoulders. Wiggle your elbows. Wiggle your knees. Wiggle your bum. Shout, hocus pocus. Louder. I can't look. You're going to tell me, did it disappear? It did. If that ball has jumped over here inside this tube, that's the end of the show. And I want every single person here to give yourselves a big round of applause. I can't look. You're going to have to tell me, is the red ball in there? Give yourselves a big round of applause.
Do you see what I mean about having a powerful hook line? You see, the thing is, in a kid's show, if I just said, I'm going to do a trick with 3 balls and a tube, they might buy into it, they might not. But if I come out and I go, hey, who here would like to drive a car when they're older? Every kid in the audience is going to put their hand up and say yes. And then what you have is you have this look, no, see. And hopefully by now you're seeing throughout this show, I'm using look, no, see over and over again. And the reason I'm using it over and over again is just because I know it works. I could drop those balls into that tube and have them change order, and I could have that the trick. Like, look, I'm going to put the green one in. I'm going to put the yellow one in. I'm going to put the red one in. Look, if I wiggle my fingers, they've changed. Oh my gosh, that's amazing. You could go down that route. But in all honesty, it's so much better if you have it so that you aren't, you didn't know it happened. Right, there you go. That's it. Yes, yellow, then yellow, green, then yellow, then red. Well done. You guys are absolutely amazing. Good job. Well done to you. And you've got that moment where the thing's going wrong over and over again. And then you've got the vanish. And then you've set up the premise where the red ball's going to disappear and appear in the tube. And notice I'm using the rule of 3 here. So the first time I try and make the ball disappear, it doesn't work. The second time I make the ball disappear, it doesn't work. The third time I make the ball disappear, it does work and it goes in the tube. And with regards to the vanish, a lot of people, when I've shown them this footage, they go, well, when did you vanish the ball? All I did was a false transfer and put it into my back pocket. If you go back and look at the footage again, you can see I just blatantly put it into my back pocket. Nobody saw that though because of where I was framing everyone's attention. So I was framing the attention up here. I brought my hand up here. I was focusing everyone's attention on this hand, and I was getting them to do all the wiggle your fingers thing. Nobody's focusing on this hand. You could literally palm an elephant at that point, and you just stick it straight into your back pocket. But don't, I know there's a lot of kids entertainers that don't do sleight of hand, and that's absolutely not a problem. If you don't do sleight of hand and you don't want to do that vanish, figure out another way to vanish the ball. You could put it in a change bag and make it disappear from inside the change bag. You could even throw it in your case. Look, I'm going to put it in my case. I'm going to make it disappear from the case into the tube. Let me go check out the case. Oh my gosh, it has gone from the case, guys. That is absolutely amazing. It's gone from the case and it's over there in the tube. Oh my God, that's the end of the show. Give yourselves a big round of applause. However you want to do it is fine. I advocate using the sleight of hand method because honestly, it's not that hard in front of a huge audience. Once you've set the vanish up, the focus attention over there, make sure that you focus attention in the right place and you can literally palm an elephant at that point. It's a cliched line, but it's absolutely true. So there you go, guys. That is a new concept, new thing that I wanted to try. We've taken a full show. We've broken it down step by step. I've talked about each step, why I've done what I've done, why it's worked. We've talked about a few different concepts in Kid Magic. Now it's over to you. I want to know, was this a useful video? Because it took a long time to put this together. Would you like to see another video like this on kid shows? Would you like to see a completely different kid show with a completely different audience, completely different tricks? And would you like me to break that one down again? Would you like me to do this on a cabaret show? Would you like me to do this on a stage show? Would you like me to do this on a close-up show? Would you find this useful where I'm performing tricks and then I'm explaining the tricks that I'm performing? Or not explaining them, but explaining the concept behind them and the theory and so on and so forth. If this is of interest to you, let me know in the comments down below. If enough people like it, then I will do another one. It took a long time to put together, but hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Now, also, if you want to see more videos like this, don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, leave a comment down below, and I'm going to be back again tomorrow on Friday with a magic rant at 9 o'clock, a shorts at 2 o'clock, a live at 6 o'clock. So thanks very much for checking it all out. I will see you again soon. Have a great day. My name's Craig from Magic